10,900 some odd pounds, 35 6-foot triple slide Montana couples rig here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Overall, very happy with the shape of it. Couple little bumps here and there, but nothing that really concerns me too much. Then again, these Montanas, I mean, sometimes the decals might get a little roughed up from the sun, but overall they seem to hold together really well. And this, what is this, like an 04? You know, this is 15, 16 years old, and frankly, this thing is just ready to hit the road. That's impressive. Before, big fifth wheels with islands were all the rage. You had a lot of stuff like this, where you had opposing slides still, and tons of room, but they didn't have an island blocking you off in the middle. So that means you can fully travel access this RV, which is something a lot of big opposing slide fifth wheels and trailers just can't say today. And without that island in the way gumming up everything, you can see how it's nice and wide open in here. And islands are nice for all the prep space and whatnot, but this thing has such an open, expansive look and feel to it. Now, some of the flowery stuff might be a little dated, but the fact is, this floor plan, I think, has aged very well. In today's market, you'd often see a theater seat where that sofa is, and you'd see a sofa where those recliners are. But other than that, this is not too far off of what you'd find in today's market. This is a really good layout. Frankly, I kind of miss it. I liked it when manufacturers had things like this. Let's start with the entertainment and work our way around. Again, directly across from the sofa. And it would not be hard to simply swap some furniture out and change around how you want. This was made before the time of like 60-inch flat screens and fifth wheels, but you do have that nice electric fireplace, and the previous owners had updated the entertainment. This was built before the age of flat screens, but owner put a nice little HD Vizio in here, and there's just nothing but cabinet space around it. We're going to open all the cabinets up in a few minutes to take a look at that. Dual section day-night shades all around, and every window opens for airflow, and you have a lot of windows for a lot of airflow. Oh, look at that classic residential kind of stereo system in that overhead cabinet. The windows are screwing up my camera here. Just a second. Look at that thing. There's a little blast from the past, you know. The table here, it's in the extended mode, so you can sit for adults here pretty comfortably on it. And then once again, as we come around to where the island would be located on a more modern fifth wheel, you can see it's just nice and big and open and expansive. And we are going to open all of the expansive cabinets right about meow. Now, like most fifth wheels, you might need a 2 or 3 step stool, depending on how gravity friendly you are. But, I mean, the fact is, you got space here. You got some serious space going on. Now, you know, instead of an island, you see you've got this corner sink area. But it's easy. Man, there's a lot of cabinet space below that. Look at that. And it's easy to look at that and kind of feel like you're getting shortchanged on counter space. But remember that the kitchen actually continues over here within the slide out. And what's cool about that is the counter space that's in the slide allows for a very big, deep cabinet and drawer space below that. Now, I love that recessed stove. And this kitchen window right here, that's just awesome. I like that extra viewing. But back to the entertainment center, where I first mentioned the word storage. This is serious, because remember that, you know, originally this had one of those big old heavy tube style TVs in it. Well, the cabinets are as deep as one of those TVs would have been. So this thing means you have, the whole slide is storage, you know, the precursor to what I often refer to as the pantrytainment center. After closing everything back down, we find ourselves up in the master bedroom. This is a 60 by 80 residential queen. This was made before king beds were really common in fifth wheels. There is probably no realistic way to shove a king into there. Well, you know, hold on. Now that I'm saying that, there is a little gap on each side of the bed. You might actually be able to squeeze a 70-inch wide king in there. It might scrunch a little at the edges, but I think it might actually work. Full front closet. The front closet on this is not washer, dryer, prepped, but never you fear, this giant closet over here isn't just prepped. It actually has a combo-matic put into it, and we'll circle back to see that in just a second. They're, you know, full front bedroom storage, and a lot of RVs have scaled down. Fifth wheels don't seem to have these, like, full bedroom length or width or breadth or whatever phrase you want to apply to it, dresser drawers, but you can see that's pretty in-depth. Now, as I swing around here, at a glance, you look at this and say, "Ah, crap, this is one of those where the bathroom is sort of halfway in the bedroom." But if I step back a little further, you can see that there is actually a sliding set of privacy doors right there. So you do have a wall. You can open and close this at will to create a full privacy wall. And the I guess you call it the hallway from the kitchen, that opening door down to the kitchen there with the staircase, that also has a sliding pocket privacy door. Now what you have here is just a monster shower with a big garden tub. Very handy if you have a dog or a kid you need to get cleaned up. And I mean, this has been well kept. Look at these counters. Nothing's where, water hasn't been splashed around. The sink is clean. This thing has been very well maintained. Oh, let me back up. I'm sorry. Now up here, this is a 50 amp coach. If you wanted to, you could sacrifice that vent to give you a second air conditioner, and we can do that stuff for you at Haylett RV. And you'll notice that there is the nice rain sensor max air vent fan installed here. I would be surprised if that's not an aftermarket upgrade. It is possible it's factory. It's hard to say because it looks pretty clean, which makes me think it's been done after the RV was built, but as well kept as this has been, it is possible that that is there from the factory. So back to this thing. This is huge. You could either use this as a closet, linen cabinet, washer dryer station. Obviously with the combo job here, it can partially function a little bit as every single one of those purposes. And then a pretty common sort of closet style bathroom, but you notice they put the little toilet riser on there to make getting up and down a little easier. I mean, overall, they've just done just a bang up job of this thing. I can also tell you just at an absolute glance that this RV has been very well maintained by the previous ownership, just simply from the condition of the exterior decals. There are a lot, and again, remember, this is an 04, I think. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it's an 04. So there are so many fifth wheels, not just from Keystone or Montana, but just fifth wheels or trailers or RVs, period, that are much, much younger than this, whose decals have peeled, faded, flaked, disintegrated, etc. And the fact that this one isn't like that indicates to me one of two things, and probably a combination of both. Either A, it was stored inside away from the weather, or B, they were really on top of things like washing and conditioning, which is like applying sunscreen to your RV. And I suspect it was a little bit of both. If I look at the tops of the slide flanges, I can see where there used to be slide covers on this. Over time, the weather can start to break those down. It looks like that has happened, so they removed the kind of shredded wheat canvas that was on top of those slides. But you leave the hardware behind so that you don't have, screw holes in the side of your RV. And I think that looks better than having, plugged up screw holes, even though it's a couple brackets kind of sitting there doing nothing. They're also not hurting anything. But the fact is, if they had those slide awnings for long enough that they used up the slide awning lifespan, that means that it has provided that much extra care, protection, and coverage to the top slide seals and the slide roofing. There's a lot of value to that. Now, there is a 2-inch receiver hitch on the back of this, and it does have a 4-way wiring plug, which does tell me that someone did some recreational doubles towing. That being said, it's a ways back here under this rear cap, so my guess is you're going to need some kind of extension hitch. Maybe they used it for like a cargo pod. I can't really say for certain at this time. There is no Carfax for campers. Very, very much of what I do here at Haylett RV is like playing CSI for camping. So that's the most I've been able to determine. Something we mentioned inside, the windows, the airflow, and notice that they put a little awning over this window here so that on a rainy day you can get some good visibility, good air out of that. And that is a tilt open window, which is going to be more inclined to repel water anyway. If I'm being picky, I notice that there's there's a wrinkle in the skirt right here, which means that they got into something, and it looks like they did a pretty good job of pretty much putting it back in place, but kind of like an aluminum soda can or beer can or whatever can, you get the point. Open a can. You can kind of get it back into the shape of a cylinder, but you're always going to know there were some wrinkles there. Kind of the same thing. And a very generous pass-through storage. Now, normally when I see something this size of this age come into Haylett RV, I will typically say something like, because of how old it is and how much it's been used, I think that this would be a good park model. But given the good condition of this rig, I have absolutely no concerns about you hitching up and heading on down the road right now. I think this one is just, it's just been well kept. It's just aged. But she's got a lot of life left in her. And seriously, for real, the condition of this roof, if I ever wondered if these folks were on top of their maintenance, I don't wonder anymore. This is like as pristine of a roof as you could ever hope an RV of this age to have. This has been clean, scrubbed, conditioned. Obviously, I can see where it's had a full peel and reseal at one point, which is something that an RV of this age should have. They added the Max Air vent covers over the bathroom and the bedroom. Holy cow. This is exactly what a used RV is supposed to look like. So, you're definitely not inheriting someone's problems. At least now that I'm able to discern. I'm not going to tell you that my word is law and, you know, I know everything about everything. But, you know, of the tens of thousands of RVs that I've seen roll out of here in my career, I think I got a pretty fair idea. And obviously, you know, we've got a couple laying around. I've got a clue. This thing's sharp, guys. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.